grand champion from ServerWorks, delivered unbelievable bandwidth, 64 gigabits per second memory band. Pardon? Intel's got this, yeah. Now, I don't think they're shipping this yet. I played a lot with the gigabit cards. They have a 32-bit gigabit card for $50. It's the Pro 1000 MT. And what's strange about it is it's a 32-bit 66 megahertz card. So if anybody's ever found a PCI bus that's 32 bits and 66 megahertz, that would be a godsend. You could populate a motherboard with gigabit cards in a 32-bit bus. You will hypercube that. Or generally speaking, I think that's just for people when they use 64 and 66.
Are technologies like MirrorNet still thriving, or they kind of died off with the advent of some of these other?
Well, most people in the commercial business will tell you that VIA has died in the commercial. VIA has pretty much been co-opted by Infinigram. VIA is alive and well in the home hacker business. There's the MVIA project. You can download that from who's posting that. There's another open source protocol project called Gamma that's based out of Italy, and they claim to be giving MirrorNet style latencies out of standard E Pro Precon telephone cards. And latency is the killer for clusters. Everybody wants the 2.5 kernel done so that we can get rid of latency in the kernel. But it's certainly been the problem all along with network cards. MirrorNet has been the performance leader since day one of that. They've always had the lowest latency. They've always had the highest bandwidth. There's a site called conservativecomputers.com that publishes the bandwidth to the PCI bus and then bandwidth out. And the ServerWorks MirrorNet card combination blows doors off everything else right now. But it isn't cheap. You can't get into a single MirrorNet card for less than $1,000. And these are point-to-point devices. If you want to distribute, if you want to build a huge fat tree out of your MirrorNet cluster, you have to buy switches, spine cards and line cards and MirrorNet. You can run into some serious clunking. That is spectacular latency. It's single-digit microsecond latencies.
Kurt, what have you found for down-to-earth cards? For cheapo cards.
You can get. Well, at a TCP/IP, you're not going to get single-digit microsecond. You can get you can find gigabyte cards on eBay real cheap right now. They've got very low latencies. Out of the Ethernet and gigabit Ethernet, you pretty much have to go with one of these experimental protocols. MVI is supported on the E1000 card right now, but on the 2.2 code. They're not quite there yet on the 2.4. But the latencies on some of these VIA implementations are pretty interesting. You can pull up those sites too. They publish their laboratory. Pardon? m-via.org. So there used to be viaarchitecture.org, V-I-A-R-C-H. Don't go to that anymore. Somebody trolled it. It's a porn.
You should be able to throw the
So Bohr's law is that telephone speed only improves once every 100 years. I guess that's
On the previous slide, you were saying that memory is less than 5% of the total cost of the PC, but it's not completely linear. If we just ran into this where we ended up having to drop back to 500 megabyte chips because the gigabyte chips are just much too expensive, but much more than double, like 4 times as much.
Right.
So it's non-linear when you get up to the high end. When you go to the speeds of the electronic processors, which are running on 2 gigabytes, ideally like they have 2 gigabytes of memory, but it becomes exorbitant, so we had to settle for half.
That's right.
So in that area, that rule just doesn't apply.
I should qualify that. My rule of thumb is don't spend twice as much for twice as much performance. If you can get, if you can stay at the 1 gigahertz there buy more machines. Then,
That's what it is, not what it is.
yeah, it turns out that not only do you get the implicit benefits from clustering and implicit load balancing, but stuff that's one generation behind is always a quarter, not half the cost of the other. So you can certainly buy more machines. Let me finish up. This is actually, Gordon Bell did a presentation that he never presented, and so this was back in '95 that he put this all together, so it wasn't all that bad. They only recently has the network, as the land really made its jump up to keep up with the slow, progressive, and Moore's law paced improvement of the other seven. But you know, when you go from 1 gigabit to, or when you go from 100 megabits per second to 1 gigabit per second, that's more than the lowest jump. So you could afford to wait for $50 now you still don't get, you definitely, with the Linux drivers now, you can get 12 megabytes per second out of the fast Ethernet card. You can get 800 megabytes per second out of a gigabit card. But the latencies are still a problem for people with tightly coupled interdependent cluster nodes. Well, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, so I have a couple links here. I've actually brought some of these websites up. This one is something of a commercial site. They make announcements of new packages, new upgrades, patches, things like that. Beowulf.org, like I say, it's something of a legacy site. There's nothing new on Beowulf.org. This one, Linux Cluster and Information Center, based out of Massachusetts, it's got a lot there. It's got analysis of system administration packages. It's got reviews of books. It's quite a nice site. This site, I'm going to give Jerry my presentation probably in the next 24 hours. I'll either have it on that site or at BLU will have a link to it on my website. And that's about it. So